I was told that if you can stop Russia and Ukraine, you should get the Nobel Prize. I said, well, what about the 7 others? I should get a Nobel Prize for each one. No, they said, but if you stop, think of that, but if you stop Russia and Ukraine, sir, you should be able to get the Nobel.
Donald Trump wanted it, he demanded it. He even said it would be an insult to America if he didn't get it. But when the Norwegian Nobel Committee announced the 2025 Peace Prize, it didn't go to Trump. It went instead to Venezuelan opposition leader María Corina Machado, the woman called the flame of democracy in darkness. Here's why the Nobel Committee denied the Peace Prize to Donald Trump. This year, the committee made it clear the Nobel Peace Prize was not about global deals or ceasefires. It was about defending democracy itself.
The Nobel Peace Prize for 2025 goes to a brave and committed champion of peace, to a woman who keeps the flame of democracy burning amidst a growing darkness. The Norwegian Nobel Committee has decided to award the Nobel Peace Prize for 2025 to María Corina Machado. She is receiving the Nobel Peace Prize for her tireless work promoting democratic rights for the people of Venezuela and for her struggle to achieve a just and peaceful transition from dictatorship to democracy.
Machado's victory represents not peace through negotiation, but peace through the defense of freedom. Trump's vocal campaign to win the prize, his public lobbying, speeches, and even threats that it would be an insult not to award him, became a global talking point. But when asked directly about Trump's campaign, the Nobel Committee chair's answer was cold and clear.
But during the past months, US President Donald Trump has repeatedly said he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize and he'd like to have it. He even said that it would be an insult to the United States if he doesn't get it. What does as chairman of the Nobel Peace Prize Committee think of this, and how has this campaign-like activity by the president and his supporters, domestically and internationally, affected the deliberations and the thinking in the committee?
In the long history of the Nobel Peace Prize, I think this committee has seen any type of campaign, media attention. We receive thousands and thousands of letters every year of people wanting to say what for them leads to peace. This committee sits in a room filled with the portraits of all laureates, and that room is filled with both courage and integrity. So we base only our decision on the work and the will of Alfred Nobel.
That single line, we base only our decision on the work and the will of Alfred Nobel, was the polite but unmistakable snub. While Trump sought attention, Machado was hiding from persecution. She stayed inside Venezuela, despite death threats, imprisonment, and torture. That quiet courage, not campaign slogans, moved the committee.
In the past year, Ms. Machado has been forced to live in hiding. Despite serious threats against her life, she has remained in the country, a choice that has inspired millions.
She didn't ask for the Nobel. She embodied it. This year's Nobel wasn't just about Venezuela. It was a message to the world. The committee openly said the prize was a warning against the global rise of authoritarianism.
As you state in your explanation, more and more countries are moving in a more autocratic direction. Would you say that the committee, by this prize, is sending a warning to the world?
Living in a world where we have less and less democracies and more authoritarian regime means that the world is also getting more unsafe. And we believe that peace, democracy is a precondition for peace. And so, yes, that is the message to the world. We need to support the democratic forces also on behalf of peace.
The Nobel Peace Prize was turned into a global political signal. Democracy equals peace. And that's not a slogan Trump could claim this year. Every year, the Nobel Committee faces lobbying, but they've drawn a red line between principle and power.
This is the discussion we have every year for all candidates, particularly when the person who receives the prize is in fact in hiding because of serious threats to her life. She is very active in Venezuela, has been and will be. And so we are also taking the consideration that this prize will support her cause and not limit it.
The committee knew their decision carried risk, but they chose integrity over influence. They chose a dissident over a deal maker. Finally, the Nobel Committee wanted a story that represents peace as a struggle for rights, not as a trophy for leaders.
Democracy is a precondition for lasting peace. However, we live in a world where democracy is in retreat, where more and more authoritarian regimes are challenging norms and resorting to violence.
By honoring Machado, the Nobel Committee rejected strongman politics and sent a symbolic blow to those seeking peace without principle. So why did Trump lose? Because this year, the Nobel Peace Prize wasn't about deals, diplomacy, or dominance. It was about courage and a woman who refused to bow to dictatorship.
María Corina Machado has shown that the tools of democracy are also the tools of peace. She embodies the hope of a different future, one where the fundamental rights of citizens are protected and their voices are heard.
She didn't just win the Nobel, she proved that courage still defines peace.